All right, welcome back, guys. Let's get right into the stock market technical analysis. I'm going to get into the charts, guys. Drop me a thumbs up if you like the content. I typically only get about 200 thumbs ups every video, and thousands of people are watching it. So please, 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 just take the time, click the thumbs up. Even if you're not a subscriber, it does help the channel. I continue to put out the effort. You guys continue to show appreciation. I do appreciate that. Triple Qs, guys. We'll get into it. So we had 2 down days, obviously, in a row. Nothing major today, but definitely a down day. So really what I'm looking for, there's no real key developments today that I can see except for a couple things, maybe on the futures, but we'll look. On the triple Qs, you can see, let me zoom in on the PPO. See how we're starting to point down. I'm looking for that to cross over, okay? So just keep watching on that. That's a daily chart for triple Qs. We don't have that crossover yet. We need that. We get that, we're going to have that confirmed bearish divergence, all right? And that's going to set us up for likely a trend change in the next leg lower, okay? So that's all I see there. And then there's support right there at 313.50. It's kind of your former reaction high right there. It kind of held it right there. So that's where the buyers were at today. That makes sense that, the buyers are going to step in. Still closing down about 1%. But, the buyers obviously were stepping in at support. So we'll see how this trades to close the week. Let's look at the futures. On the futures, Nasdaq futures, couple things. And sorry, thing was all messy. I recorded the video once and I had my mic on mute. On the futures, there's your negative divergence. This is an hourly chart here. So we're coming off that divergent high. Potential trend line here. It doesn't have to be. I probably can get rid of it. But then there's that horizontal support right there at about 1376. Broke down and closed basically on it. So is that a breakdown and then it'll recover? I can see that, but doesn't mean that we're not going to set up for a continued breakdown. Or do we break down and back test? So we'll just need to see, because as of right now, I don't know. It could be a breakdown, back test, and then roll over. Again, coming off that divergent high there, so I would lean towards lower, but maybe we get a bounce tomorrow and then it sells off. On the daily chart here on the futures, obviously you can see same kind of look. The PPO is starting to turn down. We're closing right on support. So we need to see, a big gap down tomorrow would be would probably do the trick. You'd probably get that crossover. You'd trap a lot of longs, and it would, it would definitely set the selling in motion. So we'll see. Hard to say exactly how things are going to go tomorrow because we did pretty much close at support. We don't have a bearish crossover, but we do have negative divergence. So just looking for a little more work to do. Just glancing at the SPY, there's nothing super interesting that I'm seeing. I mean, obviously, downtrend line on the daily chart. We're up here. We're at resistance is right there, about 410.50-ish. You can see former reactions right through there. A little cluster where it kind of creeped above, but we are really just right there. So, that's it. We're just kind of at resistance. I don't see anything else really in the chart that tells me. I mean, a lot of the rally that we've seen, and I think has really been in tech. So I'm really more focused on tech right now. Obviously, the financial sector's been selling down pretty strong. Tech's been rallying as a safe haven. I believe that to be a false narrative. They just slap on narratives onto price action. You'll see the narrative change when the price action changes, and the charts are telling me that the price action is about to change in tech. So that's what I'm really more focused on right now. And to that point, semiconductors, SOXX, closing pretty much at support. There's some support right there at about 424, 424.50, 424, somewhere right in there. And really just closing at support. But one key development that's definitely starting to look interesting is right there. See that bearish PPO crossover? See how we're starting to cross right there? Before, in the past, we kind of came to it. It came, tagged it, bounced. Now we're coming back down, and we've actually crossed as of today with the close. So we'll see how that kind of plays out tomorrow. But that is a cross. So I'd look for this to probably continue to the downside. And if we get that, that's going to be a bearish PPO crossover, confirming the negative divergence, setting this SOXX up for a trend, for a reverse in trend, and ultimately probably going on to make new lows. So things to watch there on that one. And the largest stock within the semiconductors, Nvidia. Again, Nvidia on the daily chart, you can see bearish rising wedge. All right. Negative divergence here. All right. And then the big development, I think we got that yesterday, is the bearish PPO crossover right there. So negative divergence is confirmed. All right, you have a bearish rising wedge, and you also have a sell signal and break of that wedge. There's a sell signal. So it's sell the rip at this point in Nvidia. Doesn't mean that tomorrow they can't try to ramp it up and do a back test. But again, in my perspective, due to the technicals, that's sell the rip. So sell, shorting into resistance, because again, it's most likely going to go like this, all right, and work its way lower. So that is Nvidia, and if Nvidia starts to do that, then the semis are likely going to do that, and if the semis are going to likely roll over, triple Qs will likely roll over. And triple Qs rolls over, likely goes the S&P 500. Now I know that's kind of a slippery slope, but you get the point. One thing kind of leads to another, and especially when it comes to the big weightings of these stocks. Let's look at FANG real quick. All right, so Amazon. Again, I talked about Amazon being at resistance right in that 103.50 area. Rejected. It's been just treading water right there over the last few days. Rejected today, so I'm looking for some more selling there. Google, no real change there. Watch for the bearish PPO crossover. It's starting to point down. We don't have that yet, so something to look for. Apple, no bearish PPO crossover, still below resistance. Big resistance right there on Apple, all right? So if I was is this an area you want to be buying tech, or is this an area you want to be shorting tech? All right, so you make up your mind. Meta, bearish rising wedge, still at the top of the wedge. We have that bearish PPO crossover there on Meta, so that's confirmed divergence. Microsoft just kind of treading water. So again, the things, not a lot of change from today. We'll see how the rest of the week kind of closes out. SMAR, another tech stock. This one over the last 2 weeks has just been kind of treading water, just kind of going sideways like that. Today on the daily chart, at one point we were way down here, and it looked like we were going to close with a big sell signal on the daily chart. They did ramp it up towards the end of the day. Let's go to the hourly. You can see we broke down towards the end of the day, ramped it up into resistance. So tomorrow we'll be telling, is this resistance and we get rejected, or do they recover it and it was a little false breakdown and you have a little bit of a rally? All right, things to watch for on that one. All right, one thing is there is a development here on the daily chart though. When I go to the daily PPO, let me zoom out, you can see bearish PPO crossover right there. So that tells me we're ramped into resistance and we're going to get rejected tomorrow and continue to sell down. I'm really looking for more selling to show up, very soon. So we'll keep an eye on that one. But so far it's still good. Trade's still good. Okay, that's really about it. I'm going to keep the video relatively brief. Not going to go into all the individual trade ideas. I have covered some of those in the private member group. So if you guys are interested in getting additional trade ideas, additional market insights, join up on the private member group. $5 a month. You can leave any month. It doesn't really matter. And then again, if you're interested in learning this as a skill set, take my technical analysis course. It's multiple videos, gives you guys a checklist, how to find good risk-reward trades, how to manage risk, how to read the charts, divergence analysis, multiple steps, and then I put it all together in a checklist. Link in the description below for the private member group as well as the course. So check that out if you're interested, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.